if you look at the European model, and in a lot of in the industry, you can actually refer to it as a European model because the way they log is so much different than the way they log here. And when I talk about European, like Scandinavian countries, Norway, northern Europe, with like fir trees that are very similar to topography that's very similar to the west coast here, and they log completely differently. Selective logging way more. The equipment they use is way less impactful. For example, here all the equipment is tracked. It's got steel tracks like a tank or an excavator would, and that tears up the undergrowth. It tears up saplings, anything they drive over, just destroys the soil. And if you look at Europe, they use huge pneumatic rubber tires for lower ground pressure. It's a way better system, and they use smaller equipment too to just make less of an impact. It's definitely something that's big in the academic world right now. Unfortunately, in British Columbia anyway, it hasn't really taken off from an industry standpoint, and it's unfortunate because timber is first of all, it's a natural carbon sink. I believe that being the material of the future. Key to climate change, the battle for climate change is going to be using these carbon sinks and essentially constructing out of them to trap that carbon. Timber high-rises in general, a lot of benefits, health benefits, and resistance to earthquake. They're quite flexible. The biggest timber high-rise in British Columbia is the UBC building, and they haven't proven the theoretical side's done. It's just kind of a lack of uptake from the industry. If you look across Europe, especially I believe it's Norway and Sweden, they're all over it. I think a majority of their buildings are actually timber high-rise. So a lot of people hear timber high-rise and they think skyscraper fires. Its flame spread rate and just the fire resistance of these buildings is actually quite good and better than a lot of other constructions in some cases. It's important to note that this is not an anti-forestry movement at all. This is, in fact, I'm pro-forestry. I think it's a huge part of our economy, and it will continue to be. I personally think timber fiber is the product of the future. It's a natural carbon sink. And I think as we get more into timber high-rises and that type of construction, it's going to be important to have this industry alive and well. So it's important to enunciate, I think, that this movement is pro-forestry. We're actually fighting, I'm fighting, and I want to fight for timber and fiber for the future, for future generations. At the rate we're going at, we're going to destroy the last bit of old growth. We're taking fiber out as quick as possible. It's just not sustainable. So a big part of this isn't just Fairy Creek, it's a focus on sustainability for the industry and jobs for the future.